family-friendly show. Yeah, obviously, things are going crazy. Everyone's concentrating about the C word. I'm not even going to say the C word here, but that's why in this particular video, I will be reporting on all the other news. That's not the C word, but still important and still has an effect on your life. There is a lot to get into about all the other events unfolding in this world, and that's why we're going to be talking about it here on this independent media organization. Now, of course, we're taking the virus situation very seriously, and if you want more content related to that, please check out the backup channel, Change the News. Also, thank you to everyone who is still keeping us running by supporting us on wearechange.org/donate. Only because of your support are we still able to be here. There's many ways to support us. Just check out that website, which is linked in the description below. Now, surprisingly, even with the utter chaos that's happening in our world because of this virus, there still is, surprisingly, other dumb news happening right now, including the fact that the U.S. government and military are launching an entire new bombing campaign in the Middle East as we are speaking right now. Yes, the same government that's having astronomical problems just testing people, lying about those tests, lying about the availability of those tests, unlike other countries like Singapore and Hong Kong who have tested effectively and have prevented a larger spread of this virus. Yes, that same government right now is launching a costly, expansive military campaign that is driving resources towards supporting the neoconservative U.S. foreign policy orthodoxy. Now again, people need to realize that this is just a continuation of the larger proxy war between Iran and its allies and the United States and its allies that keep attacking each other and retaliating in tit-for-tat actions that only progress the problem from here. Now, the latest events are reportedly after a, quote, Iranian-linked militia group launched a rocket attack on a U.S. base that killed 2 American servicemen earlier this week in the same country that voted to expel U.S. troops. In response, Donald Trump threatened economic sanctions on Iraq and then sent more troops there. And after this latest airstrike by this purported group, the United States answered back with its own military campaign, specifically bombing areas controlled by the Shiite-ruled territories in Iraq. Now, there are a lot of natural-born Shiites in Iraq, but also predominantly this is the major religion of Iran. Keep in mind that these are also the same Shia forces that have been battling the mainly Sunni ISIS radicals in that region. Yes, U.S. foreign policy now is bombing the people that are the #1 enemy of ISIS. And in this latest attack, some 26 Shia militiamen that the Iraqi government made a part of the Iraqi National Guard were eliminated in this attack. This, of course, only worsens U.S. relations in the Middle East, specifically with the government in Iraq, and most likely will continue the tit-for-tat actions that will be reciprocated because of this latest response. And the United States is just sending more military hardware down there, as 2 carriers with Patriot missile batteries had their stay extended in the region. And what does this accomplish? Why do we need to be doing this right now? It's absolutely crazy and insane. And also, it's important to note that the United States' economic warfare on Iran with its sanctions is only making the spread of the coronavirus worse, as, of course, basic medical supplies are denied to Iran because of U.S. economic sanctions. So yeah, there's that. And also the signaling of a continued and extended geopolitical foe to the U.S. establishment with the latest news that Russia just signed into law a new bill that would allow Vladimir Putin to stay as the president of Russia all the way up until 2036. Now, this new law was signed by Vladimir Putin. It now must be approved by their constitutional court, and this would specifically appeal the previous law that would have prevented Vladimir Putin from running for president again in 2024, which is supposed to be when his term is officially over. This new law would allow him to run for 2 more 6-year terms, and from the looks of it and understanding the situation in Russia, this is probably going to be the case. Even with quote, official elections that will still be in play here. This, of course, also signals a very similar move made by China recently with Xi Jinping, another U.S. foreign policy foe, and essentially signals more future confrontations with the United States. While here in the United States, the supposed land of the free, it's only becoming less free, as just 2 days ago, the U.S. House of Representatives voted and passed the reauthorization of the abusive government surveillance program that eliminates most of the constitutional rights allocated to you by God. And that, of course, is the Patriot Act that just passed and was reauthorized by our government. Something that Judge Andrew Napolitano correctly says is a weapon of totalitarian mass surveillance programs. You know, the ones that the United States accuses Russia and China of having? Yeah, that's the same one that was just reauthorized by our government, and it's now renamed the U.S. Freedom Reauthorization Act. So another loss of significant sovereignty and rights. But finally, in some good news, out of all the chaos that you might have missed, we finally got the news that Chelsea Manning was released out of jail after almost serving a year when she refused to snitch on Julian Assange. Now, this is incredible news. I'm incredibly happy to see this. Chelsea Manning is a person that has stood behind her morals, her virtues, and in my opinion should be respected for her whistleblower activity and her actions afterward that caused her severe problems, including now a bill of $256,000, a quote, fine by the government because she refused to testify against Julian Assange. Now, a judge recently ruled that her testimony is no longer needed. This is why she was released. She also just recently had another suicide attempt. And again, in my opinion, this is good news that at least she's finally out and not in jail. Again, my personal opinion. You may disagree with me, but again, lay out your argument in the comment section below. But to me, it's a travesty of injustice to have someone like Chelsea Manning in jail. Meanwhile, there's so many abusers of little children who hold positions of power still to this day, who walk around free still to this day, and have never seen any accountability or justice for their horrible crimes. And of course, I'm leading to all the associates and people who are well connected and are still free of Mr. Jeffrey Epstein that we're getting more information about day to day. Even just recently, we had two people, not one, two people, including his suicide watch companion, an inmate who's housed with Jeffrey Epstein, along with his lawyer, coming out publicly and saying that Jeffrey Epstein was not depressed, not suicidal, and that he was not going to kill himself. And obviously, why would he? He had a battle, a fight that he previously won in an incredible deal of a lifetime in previous court proceedings. He was ready to fight. He had dirt on everyone. He was connected to a lot of people. I understand if maybe he was convicted and sent to solitary and was there by himself and the game was already over, but no. No. Everything about this story is just absolutely absurd. And now we're even just getting more information showing you how the official government story is just filled with crap and lies and misinformation and propaganda to get your mind off of this story of the decade that everyone should know. And the lawyer that came forward, by the way, is a very prominent lawyer. There's no reason for him to lie, as of course many people are putting doubt and skepticism on a former inmate that was with Jeffrey Epstein. But again, there's no denying the clout of this lawyer who, again, has no reason to lie here, and highlights yet another crazy important problem with the government's official story that they're allegedly still investigating. We're still patiently waiting for all the information to come out, and yet powerful people are still not even questioned about what actually happened here, when victims are directly pointing to them in a public light saying him, her, and guess what? The police officers are just turning a blind eye and totally ignoring it. But we also got the news that there will be a Netflix special released on Jeffrey Epstein, which of course I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. When that drops, I will be doing a full video review on it, maybe on this channel or the backup channel. There's other videos of people just reporting how they were victims of this, how they tried to get justice from this. And the government and police officers and attorneys and prosecutors just said, no, we don't care that these powerful people committed crimes on the most innocent in our society, that these people can't heal from ever in their lives. And this is truly, truly the story of the decade that should never get away from the public. There's many people that want this story to go away. There's a reason the mainstream media doesn't even talk about this story, but this is the number one prominent story that anyone who considers themselves a journalist should be talking about, and this is why we talk about it on this independent media broadcast that is supported by you and you only. Thank you once again for all the support. Make sure you guys are prepared, safe out there, and smart. Share this video with your friends and family members because of the topics we talked about. This video will only get more censored. There's a ton of people just getting unsubscribed without actually clicking the unsubscribe button from this channel. A lot of crazy stuff's going on. The best way to be calm, be rational, is to fully understand the situation. This is why we're trying to do our best to keep you up to date with all the information that we can get, that we can verify here on We Are Change. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.